Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Callie Hernandez about season 2 of The Flight Attendant on HBO Max. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
This is really exciting because, season 1 was like very popular with audiences, and, season 2 now is out. What's the mindset joining a show that did so well in season 1, like for season 2? I'm just curious about that.
I don't know. I think that you get to be a small part of a very popular show,
Yeah.
and you try to do your best to make it work and fit into the right tone, and
I always feel like that's always like a challenge. Like, you see the Deadline article, like Callie Hernandez, JJ Soria, added to season 2 of The Flight Attendant. It's one of those things where, do you think, I guess it depends on, like, different people have different kind of ways of looking at it, but is it a challenge because you have to like win the audience over, whereas we know the characters from season 1 that have been there already? You know what I mean? Like, do you see it as a challenge a little bit?
Well, I don't know that I necessarily try to ever win the audience over. Also, given our characters, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no, but like, you can win the character over would be like, oh my God, they're so all over the place. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it takes a certain kind of person to like that, but maybe, I don't know. I have no idea what the response is going to be, but I don't know. You just try to be as prepared as possible, and I don't know that I necessarily have a mindset. I just sort of prepare and show up
and work.
Like, I don't know, let's go.
Absolutely. I mentioned before as well, you and JJ Soria, basically just as a tag team in season 2, it's just amazing. It's so awesome. What was it like working with him? Because a lot of the scenes, just you two kind of trying to like scheme and figure things out. So what was that like working with him on this show?
I mean, dude, I love JJ. He's such a true, we kind of came to this understanding within the first few weeks where we're kind of looking at each other like, we're really different. We come from completely different backgrounds, completely different worlds. We're really, really different, but we're both kind of, have some semblance of like freak nature. He's kind of, I call it like a soft freak. We're both a little bit of true freaks. So we kind of just get each other in that regard. And I think that really helped in doing whatever, trying stuff. That's one really great thing about having a partner in one of these things. I love having a partner in crime in stuff that I get to do. Yeah. And he was a great partner in crime. I mean,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we had a laugh.
The intrigue when we like meet you for the first time in episode 1 too is just kind of like, what the hell is going on? Like, that's literally what I was saying. I'm like, oh, because like I knew you both were added for season 1, and I was for season 2, and I was like, oh, here we go. What is happening? Like, something's up right away, which is awesome for the storylines. Here's the thing about this show, Callie. I don't even know what genre to put this show in, to be honest with you. Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, if it's comedy, if it's drama, it's got the action, it's got the heartfelt moments, it's got the self-reflection. This is like a genre-bending show that you're on.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's very true.
What's that like? Because you can't, I don't think you could, people are saying it's a dark comedy, but it, like, do you notice like how complex it is because there's a lot of genre-bending happening?
Like, notice it while I'm working on it?
While you're working on it, seeing playback, seeing it, like, there's so much, even in season 1, like, it's so hard to, like, categorize, like, what it is.
Yeah, and I think season 2 is slightly different tonally than season 1, which I think was intentional on the writer's part, to, keep it fresh. But to work on a genre bending show like this is kind of a dream, and it's a little stressful because, especially playing the kind of characters that we're playing, where we kind of just pop in and we're a bit of the colorful, I don't know, it's stressful, and it's also not because of the characters that we get to play, because we're kind of like, I don't know, we're just gonna do what feels right and hope maybe it'll be funny, and maybe it won't, maybe it'll be scary, maybe it'll be all of it, you know.
Because
yeah,
it's interesting because you have worked on projects in the past that they like have an identity of like what they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like La La Land knew what it was. Blair Witch
Yeah.
knows what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do have an affinity for cult kind of following, genres. That's true. I don't know why that is, but it seems to be.
But I feel like it's refreshing. I think it's an exciting part of storytelling to be able to kind of dive in these different worlds, whether it's kind of clear-cut horror, clear-cut musical, whatever the Flight Attendant is.
No, yeah, it is. I can't complain. As a storyteller or an actor, or, it keeps it fresh and exciting, and I'm not complaining, that's for sure.
What excites you about storytelling specifically?
Oh man, that's such a broad question. Well, I started out in writing, that's kind of what I started in, and music and stuff, but I don't know what excites me about storytelling. I mean, everything. I don't know that I get a choice in it. Like, everything is sort of.
You play pretend for a living.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm the luckiest. I don't know if you can curse on here, so I just won't. But I'm just the luckiest person, I think.
You can curse.
Luckiest bitch alive. I just think, like, I feel like it's, in my regular life, I think I get into some really always was like, if anybody else were telling me this happened to them in real life, I would not believe it, but because it's you, I know it's true.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the thing of, maybe I get into a little bit of not trouble, but it seems like if I go to the post office, it's like something insane is happening. But maybe it's not something insane is happening. Maybe it's just that I'm paying attention. I have no idea. Yeah. But maybe that's just part of the storytelling. Is I think with storytelling, it's rather innate. And
yeah. No,
and you
100%.
either live for it and die for it, or you don't care.
No, for sure. It's so true. And it's a good segue. You started that, when you started writing. I mean, I do want to talk about your film Jessica, because, that had a run at South by Southwest, and you wrote that. You were one of the writers on that, and you starred in that as well, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I just feel like, was that just kind of naturally you were just going to kind of star in that or write that? Or did it just was it challenging? What was that like, wearing many hats on that film?
Well, Pete O's, the director, is one of my really good friends. Okay. And it was kind of during the pandemic when nobody was doing anything else, and he was kind of like, do you guys want a couple friends, go out to New Mexico and live in a trailer for 2.5 weeks and shoot a movie with no script? And I was like, yeah, sure. I'm not doing anything. So, I mean, I didn't go into it with any intention or expectation other than kind of being Pete's right-hand woman in a lot of ways, and helping him get the film made, whether that was me acting or whether that was me writing. As far as the writing, I think I really contributed mostly with dialogue, the overarching stuff and narrative, I think, was really a lot of Pete. We would just do daily dialogue, tests where he would give me a rough script, on his phone, and then I would kind of tweak it, and we'd go back and forth like that and edit it together. But I mean, it was easy because there was no rules. We literally never thought that movie would ever see the light of day. Yep. I mean, we just did it because we had nothing else to do, and we like making movies.
No, but do you feel like South by Southwest and festivals, because you put them in, I always feel like networking was a huge component of these festivals. Do you still feel like that's a thing? Like you put them in because people want, distribution deals and everything, but I feel like festivals now are just getting your film out there, maybe meeting some people, networking. Like, what do you think about the festival?
You mean just what the festivals are like as a whole?
Yeah, I feel like they've changed a little bit.
How do you think they've changed?
I just feel like it's now about kind of getting it out there rather than, business. I feel like it's networking. I feel like you go to a festival to get your film out there, but meet and kind of collab with other filmmakers.
Yeah. I mean, I think I haven't done many film festivals just because I haven't had very many films. I mean, I've had a couple of them in festivals and things like that of that nature, but like Berlinale and things like that.
Yeah.
South by, I'm from Texas, so going back to Texas, having a film at South by was a different experience. But as far as the networking aspects of film festivals, I don't know if I am just a bit of a hermit or a Luddite in a certain sense in that regard, or not. Pete was the boss, and I just, at least for Jessica, I kind of just, and I happen to know, you can run into people. I got to see my friend Ty West that had his film there, and I had worked together before, and it's nice to see, it was exciting to see Ty and be excited for him and things like that. But
yeah, no, absolutely.
I think you're not wrong that it's become more about just getting films out there. And
I just brought that up because I remember like early on, like, my dad was in productions and everything, and I would ask him like, what's like, when I was a kid, I was like, what's like the goal of a film festival, right? And it's like, when you put your film in the festival, so people maybe will buy it for distribution. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. And it's not, that is still there in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways it's other things as well. So I just wanted to bring it up quickly. But yeah, Callie, this was a blast. Thank you so much for coming on Popternative.
Thanks for having me.
Flight Attendant, HBO Max season 2. They got to check it out, right?
Definitely.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Be able to catch Callie Hernandez in season 2, The Flight Attendant, on HBO Max. Until next time, this is Callie and Petey Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.